Let me introduce myself. My name is Bill Burkhart, B-U-R-K-H-A-R-T. I'm a former TSA manager and insider, as well as the author of a book, Flying Are You Safe? TSA, Unsafe, Untrustworthy, Un-American. Congress enacts the Patriot Act. The Department of Homeland Security invites us to spy on our neighbors as we're shopping at the mall. The TSA enacts another policy or procedure that demeans travelers and assaults our freedom. While too many times, too many people, too many American citizens among them will say something like, "I don't care what they do as long as it keeps us safe." Really? You don't care what they do as long as it keeps us safe? Well, what is it that they do? What is it that they're doing? It might help if we compare the TSA to other security operations in other countries. For example, why don't we compare them to Nigeria? Now, the State Department has a travel warning in effect for Nigeria. They want us to avoid traveling to Nigeria because they indicate that American citizens are being harassed at Nigerian checkpoints by Nigerian law enforcement officers. Their money's being stolen and valuables are disappearing from their luggage. Well, how does that compare to the TSA? Well, Americans are being harassed at TSA government checkpoints. Their money's disappearing and valuables are missing from their luggage. There's no difference. They're both mirroring each other. Well, wait a minute. Let's take a closer look. Nigeria is this itty-bitty West African nation. It is a third world country, and as a third world country, we have a lot of corruption and lawlessness. What do we expect? It's third world. Now, the United States, well, we're this big superpower. But we have a TSA that mirrors a third world operation. They are both lawless and corrupt. It's the same thing. Now, in a third world country, we expect that. But from the United States of America, we don't expect third world behavior from our organizations. But that's what we're getting from the TSA. And that's why the TSA is one of the most, if not the most, despised government organizations and bureaucracies ever. In addition to that, they have some of the most despicable policies ever. But wait a minute. You don't care as long as it keeps you safe, right? Well, let's look at this a little bit. Does the TSA have a zero tolerance for sexual perverts and pedophiles? Well, the answer to that question is no, they don't. No, they have a lot of tolerance for that type of behavior. Can the TSA say that no child, whether from Europe, the United States, or Nigeria, that no child would ever or has ever been frisked, touched, fondled, or molested by a TSA officer who happens to be a pedophile at a TSA government checkpoint? Can they say that? I don't think they can. No. And that is despicable. Absolutely despicable. Well, what's the evidence for that? Well, there's an article in the Philadelphia Inquirer talking about a TSA officer in March of 2011 who was arrested for, guess what? Child pornography. He faces up to 250 years maximum in prison if convicted. He worked for the TSA from 2005 until his arrest in 2011. And part of his duties, his job description, was to touch, to feel, to pat down passengers as they went to their aircraft. And of course, children were among those passengers. Do I hear a wail of indignation from the TSA that's saying, well, this is one bad apple. It's not the core of who we are. Well, then I'll say, let's go to Maryland in December of 2011, where another TSA officer was arrested for child pornography. As they were putting the cuffs on him, he said something to the effect of, I don't know why I keep doing this. I know it's wrong, but I just can't stop myself. Then more recently, there's the 6-year-old girl who was groped at a TSA government checkpoint by a TSA officer in New Orleans. Now, to be fair, the TSA says that it wasn't groping. Her parents said that. The TSA says, hey, the touching was appropriate. And therein lies the rub. Because the TSA believes, by policy, that children should be treated the same way we treat convicted felons returning from the exercise yard to their cell. But you don't care what they do as long as it keeps you safe, right? And of course, all of us are treated like we're convicted felons. But you don't care what they do as long as it keeps you safe. This is the thing. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. I know that. The TSA knows that. And security experts know that. The bad guys know how to get around that. And I'm not going to belabor that, other than to say it doesn't work. What you need to know, that this is not about your safety. This is not about protecting you. This is about an assault on freedom. But you don't care what they do as long as you're protected. I'll reiterate, this is not about your safety and protection. It is about the illusion of safety and protection. Now, illusion is a pretty fancy word, and it means a state or a fact of being deceived. We are being deceived. I'm Bill Burkhart, author of Flying Are You Safe? TSA, unsafe, untrustworthy, un-American. TSA, architects of the next 9/11. I'm going to say that again. TSA, architects of the next 9/11. When the next 9/11 occurs, don't go looking for Hezbollah or Al-Qaeda, or don't go blaming Pope Benedict. Look to the TSA. We are being betrayed. I'm Bill Burkhart, author of Flying Are You Safe? Available at Amazon.com or in a print version through the website. In conclusion, I'll conclude what Ben Franklin, one of our founding fathers, said. Any society that would trade a little liberty to gain a little security will deserve neither and lose both. Are we that society? This is the first in a series of educational videos about the TSA and freedom. My name is Bill Burkhart. Thank you very much for paying attention and watching.